Hi there, I'm John Atkins and welcome to this special video look at two-time FWA British Heavyweight Champion, the Anarchist, Doug Williams. 2004 got off to a bang for Doug Williams as he was thrown into the thick of things in the feud between the show stealer Alex Shane and the returning Steve Corino.
That's Steve Corino! Steve Corino! Nick, we haven't seen him since 2001 at Trick or Treat. Where's security, Tony, in all of this?
Tonight, it's about Steve Corino's retribution, and all these people are going to witness Steve Corino kick your Steve Corino, the only way I would ever fight you is if there was money in it for me. And the only way that would happen is if it was in an FWA ring. And unfortunately for you, and unfortunately for all these retards at Brent Town Hall, that is never going to happen, because this is the very last time you'll ever be in an FWA ring. And there's nothing you, nothing any small boys, and nothing anyone in the FWA can do about it.
Nick, I mean, the music's just it. We've got the FWA Heavyweight Champion making his way down to ringside, Doug Williams. What could Doug Williams possibly have to add to this situation?
I don't know, this situation's volatile enough. I mean, who the hell does Steve Corino think he is? Coming over to here, demanding to be a part of the FWA. It's enough to make a fan sick, Tony.
Hold on 1 minute, Alex. Me and Steve Corino might not have a lot in common, but there's one thing we both agree on. And that is you are a two-faced, underhanded, lying piece of Now, Alex, you promised me and each and every one of these fans here tonight a world title match. But Alex, when I arrived here in the building earlier this afternoon, you took me to one side and you said, don't worry about tonight, rest yourself, take it easy. We can't give the fans what they want every time. But Alex, that constitutes false advertising in my eyes. You're screwing all these fans out of selling what they paid for. So as far as I can see, you've got two options. Option one is this. All these fans can go home tonight, sleep in their beds, think about it. Tomorrow, they can get up and they can come and sue your for every penny you've got. They're entitled to a refund of their tickets, a refund of their travel expenses. Hell, they can even claim damages for damage to psychology. Or there's option two. There's option two, Alex. You can give them a world title shot. Me against, say, Steve Corino.
Nick, that is what I want to see, and listen to these fans. That is what the fans want to see.
Oh, no, this is a PR nightmare.
Who'd like to sue Alex Shane? Stand up if you'd like to sue him.
No, Tony, this is a nightmare for the show stealer. He's trying to hold everything together and this is just becoming combustible.
Is it going to be legal trouble? Is it going to be refunds all round? Or is it going to be a world title match right here in Brent Town Hall tonight?
Who in the devil does he think he is, Tony?
He's our heavyweight champion, Nick, and what he's saying is right.
It's what you call mass hysteria. You people don't want to see an FWA heavyweight title match tonight. You people don't know what you want, do ya? Hold on a minute, hold on. No, you don't like to sue Alex Shane. Stand up again. Let's just see who likes to sue him.
Oh, for Pete's sake, Tony, what is he doing? He's supposed to be a role model for this company, and he's encouraging bad behaviour, quite frankly. Oh, for Pete's sake, we want a refund. As Alex said, the fans don't know what they want. Only Alex Shane knows what the people want.
All right, Williams. You've got it. Tonight, you reach Steve Corino.
game. But as for tonight...
One more thing, Alex. One more thing. Let's get this clear. It's an FWA World title match. It's Doug Williams versus Steve Corino. And there's two things you can do about it. That's nothing and nothing.
Oh, for Tony! Oh, you're bloody happy with yourself.
Ever the fighting champion, Williams put his belt on the line that same evening against Corino in this 2 of 3 falls contest.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is your FWA Heavyweight Champion, Doug the Anarchist Williams. Now, just to remind everyone at home, the rules of FWA Heavyweight title matches is 2 out of 3 falls to win the contest. You must win 2 of those falls either by pinfall, submission, or count out. Both men shake hands. Let's see them get it on. Now, who's going to get the early advantage? Tony, I mean, what's your prediction?
Well, I mean, the way it stands is Doug Williams, obviously FWA British Heavyweight Champion, but Steve Corino is no stranger to gold. Former NWA World Champion, former ECW World Champion, and former 01 Pro USA Champion as well. I mean, Steve Corino has had so many titles. Is tonight going to be the night that he had one more?
Well, I've got to believe that Doug has an incredibly strong advantage going into this. He's used to this format in defending his title. Steve Corino, no doubt, he's very experienced, and I'm sure he's been in the odd 2 out of 3 falls match, but not as many as Doug the Anarchist Williams. Doug now forcing Steve Corino into the corner. Now, my prediction is this: the first round is going to be very slow, very methodic. Both men are going to be feeling each other out. It's going to be curious to see who gets the first fall, because most often, whoever gets the first fall has the momentum going throughout the entire contest.
It's early going in the match, Nick, so neither one does have an advantage, but you know, I see Steve Corino in that ring, and I really do see him as a champion for the FWA. I honestly believe that he could be FWA champion.
Do you remember the last time we had an American hold that title? It was an absolute nightmare. He refused to bring it back to Britain. In the end, Doug Williams had to go over to America, win the belt one more time, and drag it back across the ocean to the good old Blighty.
That is true, Nick, and Doug Williams there with a good, solid forearm caught Steve Corino completely unaware, and Steve Corino went down to the mat. Only managed to get a quick 2 though. Corino is back up.
Absolutely, Corino back up very quickly. Again, no man yet with the advantage, though Doug did lay in some firm forearms there. Now, the lock-up again, but Corino straight away with a headlock. Very tight. Referee Steve Cox checking that there's no choke there. I'm pretty certain he's satisfied that it isn't, though.
Steve Corino seems to be adapting to Doug Williams' style very quickly. If Doug's going to go with a submission style, Steve Corino will do it too. Doug Williams there looks like he used his leg and grapevine Steve Corino's head there, and has got it in nice and tight. Corino will need to roll out of that, get out of it any way he can, because Doug Williams, if you leave your arm open, he will take it and just use it to inflict punishment.
I know what you were saying earlier, Tony. Steve Corino, very proud of his adaptability in the ring. He often says it doesn't matter if it was an American style, a Japanese style, a Mexican style, or a British style. He will adapt in that ring, and he is adapting to Doug Williams. However, the danger of adapting to Doug Williams' British style is that you're going on his home turf. Doug knows the British style a lot better than most people in the world today. Off the ropes, and a shoulder block, but neither man falls down.
Doug Williams may be the more muscular of the two, but Steve Corino is quite tall and he's quite set as well. It's going to be difficult for Doug Williams to get Steve Corino down on the mat from a shoulder block. Steve Corino went for the clothesline there. Oh, and a nice arm drag there from Steve Corino. Takes Williams down.
Actually, both men very similar in height and size, so it's very easy to forget that these are two pretty big guys. They know what they're doing in there, and they know how to shift their weight around. I'm incredibly surprised that neither man did fall on that chest block. I mean, there's a lot of power, a lot of raw energy going in there. And now Steve Corino rubbing the wrist into the face of Doug Williams, picks him up and reapplies the wrist lock nice and slow, making Doug feel the pain.
At the moment, Nick, Steve Corino is making sure every move counts. Doug Williams there with Doug Williams just proving why he is FWA champion. With a reversal there, managed to take Steve Corino down, and it looks as though he's going for the pinfall. 1, 2, no, only a 2 count there from Doug Williams. Innovative moves from the Anarchist.
Steve Corino looks a touch frustrated there, and I'm not surprised. We saw some trademark Doug Williams reversals right there, and Steve Corino found himself in a pinning predicament very quickly. Steve Corino needs to avoid those, because in these 2 out of 3 falls contests, it's that quick pin that could devastate your chances for the rest of the contest.
I mean, Steve Corino, he's not been surprised with the actions of Doug Williams. At the end of the day, these men have no beef between them, but they both have a common enemy in Alex Shane, especially Steve Corino. I'm sure Steve Corino would love this match to be him versus Alex Shane, but instead he does have himself a British heavyweight title match, and at the moment it looks as though Corino is coming out on top.
Well, after recently seeing what Alex Shane did to Jack Xavier, I don't think Steve Corino would want to get in the ring with the show stealer Alex Shane. I mean, Alex Shane came out, he wanted a professional solution, but Steve Corino made it personal, which then led to Doug Williams coming out and getting in Alex Shane's face, and it was just both men effectively bullying Alex Shane into signing this contest. Doug Williams now, snapmare, off the ropes, and a knee drop down on the face of Steve Corino.
You say about it not being personal, Nick, but it does look as though Doug Williams is slightly starting to take this a little bit personal. He's starting to have a little bit more of a fighter's edge in there. He dropped a nice knee drop, went straight in for the pin. Corino managed to get up, but Doug Williams straight away again on the offense, and he's got their head now in a triangle lock, and it looks as though he's just basically trying to choke the life out of Corino.
Well, absolutely. I mean, again, Doug Williams, this triangle lock is slowly choking away. It looks like he's also might have Corino's arm there. Corino desperate to get to the ropes, but Doug Williams just will not allow him that privilege. That referee, Steve Cox, he's there just in case there is a tap out. But Steve Corino has the ropes. Doug will have to let go of the hold.
That's right, Corino has made it over to the ropes. Doug Williams has broken the hold, rightly so. If that had been more centre in the ring, Nick, I could have seen Doug Williams getting the tap out victory there for the first fall.
Well, absolutely, Steve Corino will want the tap out soon rather, because after all, you wouldn't want to sustain an injury that could linger throughout all 2 to 3 falls. And now, Steve Corino and Doug Williams going for the knuckle lock again, with Doug Williams there with an overhead wrist lock.
Very nice tight top wrist lock there from Doug Williams. I mean, it's not that a case of Doug Williams is out wrestling Steve Corino. It's just at the moment, I think he has more in mind what he plans to do.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Doug Williams always enters a match with a game plan. I mean, obviously, both men didn't have much time to prepare, but Doug Williams has obviously decided what he wants to do. But Steve Corino now managed to take control in the corner, a bionic elbow to the top of Doug Williams, and a snapmare down, and he goes for a quick pinfall. But Doug, quick as a cat, nicked her out of that pinfall.
Straight up out of it, there wasn't even a 1 count, Nick. It's too early in the match for Doug Williams to go down. But Doug Williams and Steve Corino now are just trading forearms and uppercuts and just going back and forth on each other. And Doug Williams has been taken down by Corino, but a nice jumping forearm there. Williams could have it here. No, only a 2 count, Nick, but it could be that close. The all-important first victory could go Doug Williams' way if he uses those forceful chops.
Oh, beautiful DDT there, hit by Steve Corino. That could be the beginning of the end. And then STO. Doug's down. Pinfall. Is this the first fall? No.
So Doug, close, Nick.
Doug slithered out.
So close. It was a nice DDT into the...
well, come on, there we go now. He catches the clothesline. He's got the full Nelson. He's taken the... What is
Oh, look
that?
at this, Nick. It looks like he may be going for like a... It looks like a camel... sorry, a Cobra Clutch. He's got it. He's got it.
Did he get it?
Did he get it?
He
did get it. He did get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first fall by submission is to Steve Corino.
Doug Williams wanted to tap out quickly. After all, what if he were to endure an injury that would linger?
If Doug Williams has been injured, though, by that Cobra Clutch, then it would be advantageous of Steve Corino to carry on and work on that body part. Maybe use the same move again if he wants to walk out of here FWA British Champion. Imagine what that would be like, Nick. He comes in, invades FWA and walks out our champion.
Well, we've seen that once before and it wasn't a happy scenario. Will we see it again tonight? Steve Corino rubbing his knee straight, square in the face of Doug Williams. Steve Corino now, he's taking it to the next level. He's getting a little more aggressive. He's getting a little more assertive in that ring. He would really love the opportunity to become the first man in FWA history to win an FWA heavyweight title match 2 falls to 0. He snapmares Doug Williams down again and he's going back. He's working back on that arm, Tony.
He's working back on that arm and shoulder area, Nick. He is looking for the tap-out victory of 2 straight falls to Doug Williams here. But can you imagine how Alex Shane would feel if Steve Corino walked out of here British heavyweight champion?
It would be in Alex Shane's mind, an absolute disaster. But Steve Corino has the bottom rope. Steve Corino will be freed from that submission hold of Doug Williams. Doug Williams now getting a little more aggressive and assertive himself, kicks Steve Corino down and then drops the knee on the top of the head. He goes for the pinfall, 2, but Corino kicks out.
Only a 2-fall there, Nick, and I still see the advantage being with Corino. Sure, Doug Williams is firing back now, but Steve Corino seemed to do quite a lot of damage with that Cobra Clutch and then the additional submission hold. I'm still going to have Corino ahead at the moment on points, even though Doug Williams is firing back and it is effective.
Corino with the reversal, he follows through, but Doug Williams with the forearm. He takes Corino into the corner, drove his head into the mat, and now Doug Williams, European uppercuts, a frenzy, and my goodness grief, how many is that? 8, 9 maybe, Tony? 10?
He is just
11,
railing away on
12.
Steve Corino. Surely Corino does not want any part of this. I mean, that many European uppercuts from Doug Williams, the master of them. And here he goes in now. It looked like he was going for the knee, Nick, but Steve Corino managed to duck out of it.
He got a waist lock, but Doug freed himself from it. He went for another high knee. Corino, though, with a waist lock. Doug managed to get the waist lock of his own. Corino now launches Williams. He's got for Revolution DDT.
He hits the Revolution if Doug Williams goes in now.
Oh, that's it. That is it. 2 and 3.
Managed to get it, Nick. The Revolution DDT. It's 1 fall apiece.
Ladies and gentlemen, the second fall of the contest by pinfall to
Doug Williams there, even in the score with a Revolution DDT. That's the thing about Doug Williams DDT. It can come from out of nowhere, Nick. When you least expect it, you're flat on your back with a 3 count being laid down.
The Revolution DDT is the move that got Doug Williams the FWA heavyweight title for the first time. It is always an effective move. Springboarding off the second turnbuckle, he catapults back onto his opponent, grabs the head and drives them down. Steve Corino now is in trouble. Will Doug claim the 3rd and final fall and retain the heavyweight title here tonight? He's gone for those trademark knees, and now he's calling for it.
He's signaling for it, Nick. It's your favourite Doug Williams
He's
move.
going for the
But Steve Corino's up.
Corino's up.
Corino's up. Corino has obviously scouted Doug Williams at some point, maybe on one of Doug Williams' exploits over in America. But Corino knew what was coming and used his awareness to get up there. And it looks like, oh, nice suplex there from the top rope for Doug Williams.
Top rope superplex. Doug Williams is down. Steve Corino, he's going to cover 2. No, it was obviously too soon for this final contest to end. And wait, another pinfall. But no, Corino didn't want the pinfall attempt right there. He picks up the limp body of the FWA heavyweight champion. He sets up for a suplex, Tony. And over the top. Oh, he's got him on nice.
Oh, Northern Lights bomb. That's his finisher, Nick. If this is it, he's got to go in for the pinfall now.
The
That's
Northern
it. It's got to be
Lights bomb.
down.
That has to be it. But Corino's going to the top rope.
He's going to the outside. I mean, this is an area I'm not familiar with seeing Steve Corino in, Nick, to be perfectly honest. But he's up on the... Well, no, he was, but Doug Williams manages to cut him off.
He might regret not going for the pinfall on that Northern Lights bomb. And now Steve Corino and Doug Williams are battling in that corner. Will Corino get to jump off the top, or is Doug going to launch Corino off himself? Doug again down, and Corino is calling for something. Could this be the end? But no, Doug again is ravenous. He just keeps leaping back up there.
Doug Williams will just not give up, Nick. He's the... Oh my word! He's the FWA champion for a reason. He will not give up. You see the redness on the side of Doug Williams' face there, where Steve Corino was ramming that knee into the turnbuckle.
The ref
into his
checks.
face earlier.
Can Doug get a pinfall? No. The top rope head arm suplex was not enough. I'm not surprised. That was a hell of a move. And now Doug is going up top for the bomb scare knee drop.
Nick,
If he
he's
nails
so
this,
far
it's
away
good
there.
night. But my lord, Corino moved out of the way.
Corino wisely rolled out the ring. If Doug Williams had have hit that, that would have been it. Lights out all over, 2 falls to 1. But Corino did manage to roll out of the way. And Nick, the match is wearing on and both men are getting quite tired. But one thing I did notice early in the match, did you see Doug Williams going for the waist lock, going for the waist lock? It's the setup for the chaos theory. Doug Williams wants to hit that and walk out of here still the FWA champion.
There's not many things we can guarantee in wrestling, but we can guarantee this. If Doug Williams can nail the Chaos Theory rolling German suplex, Steve Corino will be leaving this venue, and he'll be leaving the country without the heavyweight title. And that's the way it should be, Tony. Referee Steve Cox counting both men down. We could see a draw here, Tony.
We could do, Nick. It could all end in a draw, and in which case Doug Williams would still be FWA British Heavyweight Champion.
Absolutely no title can change hands on the draw, Tony.
Indeed, referee Steve Cox is administering the 20 count. Both men do have the count of 20 to get back inside the ring, but if they can't can't do it. I mean, Nick, both of them are still very, very down at the moment.
Well, we're up to 15 at the moment. Jane Childs is going to help us finish this count. A few more seconds. Doug will retain the FWA heavyweight title.
Nick, whomever's in the ring first surely has to be the winner.
Well, absolutely. 2 falls out of 3. But both men.
Doug Williams rolls back in. No, both men at the very last second, Nick. Both men, it means that much to both of them that they will fight up and they will get back in that ring.
I honestly thought Doug had the match there, but Corino and Doug now will continue this contest. Forearms going back and forth, chops and forearms and knees. And what is this?
Another Northern Lights bomb. No, surely this is it, Nick.
That is it. No, come on.
No, he managed to kick out. At the last second, he got the arm up. There is still fighting Doug Williams. He is not ready to let the title go.
I told you Steve Corino should have went for that pinfall attempt after Northern Lights earlier, but he didn't want to go for it, and now he's setting up for something. A suplex. Doug is down, and he's not looking too healthy at the moment. He's going for that
for it again, Nick. He's going for the Cobra Clutch once again. He's got it. He's got it cinched in. The referee is going to need to check. He's going to need to check. Doug Williams is fighting out.
Is he going to tap, Tony? Is he going to tap and effectively hand the title? But no, he reached the ropes. Steve Corino was forced to let go. And how frustrating must this be for the American import? He's going for that Cobra Clutch variation again, and he's got it on tight. But Doug with a chin breaker fights out of it.
I said it once and I'll say it again, Nick. Oh my word! He's gone for it, and he's hitting the Revolution DDT for the second time.
That is it. 1, 2, 3.
No, he just did the same thing. Corino did the same thing Doug did. Both of them were too near the ropes for their finishing moves to be effective. The Cobra Clutch, Doug Williams got his foot on the rope. The
Revolution
DDT, Corino managed to get his foot on the rope. No! The referee's been knocked down. Steve Corino inadvertently knocked down referee Steve Cox.
Now that was sloppy, but Steve Corino may take advantage. He's taking off the pad. Is he setting
Nick, he's
up
going for it. If he hits this, the lariat. Oh my word, Nick, that is it. 1, 2,
don't even bother counting.
Nick, he's won.
The referee is down. He has not won. The referee is down. And for all you know, Doug Williams might still have kicked out of that lariat. Doug Williams fighting back to his feet. The energy for both men must be at their lowest point possible. Steve Corino now signaling for a kick, it looks like. He's measuring up Doug Williams, but Doug is up.
Doug is up, and it looks like he's going for it, Nick. No, he wasn't trying to go for the curse there.
He's got it again.
1, 2, 3, again. There was another pinfall victory. Where is the referee? Surely we could send another referee down.
The referee is knocked out after that accidental collision by Doug Williams, accidentally throwing Corino into the referee, Steve Cox. Doug Williams is launched over the top rope by the American Steve Corino.
Steve Corino sends Williams to the outside. And at the moment, Nick, whoa, I just saw in the background.
There it is, it's Alex Shane.
It's the show. Why is Alex Shane coming down to ringside?
He said he was going to make Corino pay for his audacity, and this is payback.
Nick, what?
FWA style.
I don't know. Why is Alex Shane?
Oh, Tony, shut your... Oh, Nick! Beautiful chair shot there by Alex Shane. You don't steal only Alex Shane show.
And Alex robbed us of a person by interfering in this match.
He's measuring up Doug Williams.
Look, it's Jack Xavier.
What's he doing?
From the beating earlier on, Jack Xavier's back. But Jack Xavier slamming that chair into the face of Alex Shane.
I thought this was settled earlier,
Jack
Tony.
Xavier is the erased Jack Xavier we saw at the end of the match. He was angry. It was intense.
Knee drop.
He's hit it.
Pinfall. 2, 3, and he got it.
Is still the FWA British Heavyweight Champion.
Thank God we didn't want another American Heavyweight Champion. Doug Williams just hit the bomb scare knee drop. Truly devastating. But you've got to wonder if Corino could have kicked out if it wasn't for the interference of Alex Shane. Alex Shane has saved the day. Alex Shane has saved Doug Williams and the title.
Alex Shane has screwed Steve Corino out of the FWA title. That's the way I see it. I'm glad that Williams is still champion, but Alex Shane screwed Steve Corino.
Well, that's your opinion, but well, it's not everyone's. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Doug Williams is still the FWA heavyweight title holder.
Doug Williams' next title defence was against Mark 5-Star Belton, who had recently impressed FWA officials by winning the #1 contendership from James Tide. This matchup comes to you from the Morecambe Dome.
Here he comes, Nick, the #1 contender for the FWA heavyweight title, Mark 5-star Belton. An impressive showing as of late in the FWA, but can we see him take on Doug Williams, and can we see him walk out the new FWA champion?
Well, it's entirely possible. He did win the #1 contendership on an absolute fluke against James Ty. James Ty hit German suplex, but 5-star was able to shift the weight ever so slightly and got the 1-2-3. And he became the #1 contender. No one saw it coming. Least of all Doug Williams, who now has to put the title against him.
That's true, Nick. I mean, a lot of people were saying it was an upset. Will there be another upset tonight, and will we see a new champion crowned?
It'll be interesting to see if Mark Belton really can upset this guy. It's not like he's got to get one pinfall over him. He's got to get 2 decisive falls over Doug Williams in this 2 out of 3 fall contest. And Doug Williams has been such a formidable, dominant champion here in the Frontier Wrestling Alliance. Ever since he defeated the fallen angel Christopher Daniels, he has truly been the top guy here in the Frontier Wrestling Alliance.
That's true, Nick. He is definitely a fighting champion. He will defend that title everywhere he goes against whomever challenges him. But tonight, will we see the young blood of Mark Belton make an even bigger impact in the FWA and walk out the new champion? Personally, you know, as much as I love Doug Williams and love watching him wrestle, Mark Belton is definitely one to keep your eye on. And if he was to walk out here champion, it wouldn't bother me too much.
You know, I believe that, 5-star is a bit of a different competitor that Doug's been wrestling as of late. Doug obviously been competing against a lot of technical and strong competitors. Meanwhile, 5-star Mark Belton, he's just quick as lightning. I mean, he could really hit you out of nowhere with those kicks, and he's also a good technician as well, Tony.
Definitely, Doug Williams there with a nice and tight wrist lock working over the arm of Mark Belton. Mark Belton managed to reverse straight away and goes through the legs of Williams.
You see 5-star there, oily and slippery, was able to get out of that move, and the match is again set to square one, and 5-star looks like he's trying to go for a wrist lock of his own, and gets it.
Goes for the wrist lock. If he tries to play the power game, Nick, I can see Doug Williams definitely having the advantage. Williams obviously the bigger of the 2 men, but 5-star Belton is definitely the quicker of the 2. Doug Williams there with a nice roll through and manages to get the hammerlock back into the headlock, a reversal and a snapmare on Mark Belton.
I've not seen a competitor as technically sound as Doug the Anarchist Williams. I mean, I've seen him so many matches. He'll do a fancy little snapmare and the crowd will just stand up and applaud. He's got the full Nelson there, Tony, and he's got it on tight, but it looks like he's now moving to the hammerlock.
Goes straight in with a hammerlock. Now, Mark Belton, Nick, when he beat James Ty, a lot of people said it was an upset victory. You know, here we had James Ty was the #1 contender. Managed to go on, face Doug Williams at Uprising 2, didn't actually walk out with the victory, but Doug Williams in with a quick pinfall there. Belton managed to kick out. Williams was still able to remain champion at British Uprising 2, but people thought James Ty, well, he'll have another shot straight away. He then went on and lost the #1 contendership in the upset to Mark Belton. James Ty did manage to get a pinfall victory over Doug Williams, and seeing as how Mark Belton has a pinfall victory over James Ty, does Belton have the advantage?
Well, absolutely. I mean, as you said, all you've got to do is get, 2 pinfalls over Doug Williams, and you're the heavyweight champion. And if you manage to get an upset over James Ty, it is incredibly possible that he'll get it over Doug Williams. Thing is, though, I think a lot of fans are very upset over this, because obviously a lot of fans wanted to see Doug Williams versus James Ty, the rematch, and now they've got this match. Personally, I can't wait for this match, but a lot of fans are unhappy. What is Doug doing here?
Doug Williams is basically returning the favour. Mark Belton had tied up Doug Williams, and Mark Belton, well, basically he just got himself tied up too.
Well, I guess he giving new meaning to the term tying his opponents up in knots. A lock-up, Tony.
They go in now with a nice tight lock-up. Now, Mark Belton, well known for his high-flying ability, but definitely showing a lot of promise on his technical wrestling so far in this match as he sends Williams off into the ropes.
Doug Williams just absolutely knocking over 5-star, and he jumps over 5-star. I mean, this match is just speeding up, and no doubt this will go to the advantage of 5-star. Quick pinfall, and both men are down here.
Both men are down, both men. It seems to have the exact same idea. Referee Mike Bishop is at a loss for what to do at the moment. I have never seen technical wrestling like this in the FWA, Nick, but I gotta say I am loving every second of it.
Looks like the ref, Mike Bishop, was getting a bit confused there and made both men break up. I mean, a nice little show of sportsmanship here, but that ain't gonna last when the FWA title's on the line.
The crowd are firmly getting into this match, and you know, I can see the crowd firmly getting into Mark Belton, Nick. He hasn't been in the FWA very long, but if he had more matches like this, he's definitely going to be one of the main, the main draws in the FWA. Belton there with a nice leapfrog. Williams wisely holding on to the ropes, but it looks as though Mark Belton is... Mark Belton, that's the Johnny St. Paul, Nick, a move we don't see very often in wrestling today, but Mark Belton perfectly. What can Williams do?
Well, it's a fantastic defence. I mean, he's waving to Doug there. It's like peekaboo. I really am confused. I mean, what can Doug do here, Tony, in this situation?
Doug can't pin his shoulders to the mat because his shoulders are up. That's what Belton was playing for. Playing possum with the ball, managed to get Doug Williams down on the mat, but Williams too close to the ropes, so the move has to be broken.
Absolutely. I mean, that was crafty from the challenger. But Doug Williams now, he's going to take him. Oh, it looks like he's stretching out the challenger.
Doug Williams with a nice sort of bow-like manoeuvre there, using both his feet on Mark Belton's right foot and stretching his legs as far as he can. Mark Belton is trying, he muscles Doug Williams over, manages to break out of the move. Doug Williams may have underestimated his younger opponent in this match. Time will tell, Nick, but Mark Belton's so impressive so far.
Well, Williams looks absolutely amused out there, but five-star now, allowing Doug back into the ring, and surprisingly doesn't trick him into anything.
This is the kind of sporting contest we like to see in the FWA. No cheap shots, no dirty tactics, nothing that Johnny Storm would do, of course. This is the kind of wrestling we like to see.
Hang on a second, was that it? Why did you bring up Johnny Storm just now? That's completely unnecessary.
It was completely unnecessary, Nick. I do apologise. Doug Williams there with a roll through, managed to break the lock, takes Belton over with a snapmare, but Belton straight away manages to get out of the headlock back into the original manoeuvre he was in. Belton, his submission skills, Nick, I am completely dumbfounded at them. Williams, though, repaying the favour. It's the exact same move. They are out-moving each other at the moment. Belton still manages to hold on to the wrist.
Well, look at this. A quick pinfall from Doug Williams, and the challenger five-star Mark Belton kicks out. It's getting a bit more competitive in that ring. You can actually sense the aura. It's just getting more intense as this match goes along.
It's getting a bit more heated, Nick, because Doug Williams does like to, in a 2 out of 3 falls match, Doug Williams does like to get the first pinfall as quickly as he possibly can. So it puts more pressure on his opponent. The more pressure you put on an opponent, the more likely they are to make a mistake. Doug Williams there with a nice tight headlock, holding onto the arm as well, so Belton pretty much has nowhere to go, but Belton, using his leg strength, manages to pull Williams over.
Well, we've often seen it in these 2 out of 3 fall contests, both competitors trying to get that first decision incredibly quickly, and that often leads to mistakes that, might cost them the entire match. But Doug Williams, obviously, the veteran of this, he's a veteran of this match type. You've got to believe that he's got the best chance of winning this.
Belton is trying to pull the arm of Williams, but Williams is fighting away. He had it before, he's trying to get it again. He's trying to get the butcher's hook, because if he can get that, Belton cannot break his wrists and cannot basically break the hold. Williams now using a nice standing handstand there, and manages to go through and take the head of Belton. Belton with a quick 2 count. Williams back up in with a headlock.
Williams there with a tight vice-like headlock. And now he's just switched to the arm. I mean, it's like he's trying to punish multiple points of five-star Mark Belton's body. He's picked him up again.
He's picked him up again. I mean, you make a very valid point, Nick. It's not just one area that Williams is targeting on. He's working over the arms, he's working over the neck, the back, the legs. Williams is basically delivering as much punishment as he can to wear Belton down.
Well, he's got him in the corner, and referee Mike Bishop making sure that Doug doesn't just abuse him in that corner. Five-star now, it's like, what is he doing? Look at his educated feet leading to this technical manoeuvre, and the match is speeding up quite nicely here.
Williamson off into the rope, a nice trip there from Belton, and a 3 count! What? He got it!
That's that upset we were talking about.
A simple move, a simple trip, and Williams is down 1 fall.
Well, Doug is naturally very concerned, because 5-star Mark Belton, he's only 3 seconds away from claiming the biggest prize in the United Kingdom.
I mean, you see the shocked look on Doug Williams' face. Maybe Williams thought that was a bit of a fast 3 count. Personally, I thought it was just, you know, it was just a regular fast count, a regular 3 count. But Williams obviously looked a little bit shocked that he was taken down and falled so easily.
Well, I'm a bit surprised actually. I was thinking that the first fall might be from something else. I mean, Doug's now at a big disadvantage against his challenger. He knocks down 5-star though, and he's trying to speed the match. He's trying to control the momentum for himself. And 5-star now managed to crotch him onto the top rope.
5-star managing to use Williams' own weight and momentum, bringing him back towards the rope, and manages to crotch Doug Williams on the top rope. You know, very effective, very clever wrestling from Mark Belton. You know, he used a simple trick to get the first fall. If he hits the 5-star leg drop, Nick, we've seen it before. If he hits it, it could be all over for Williams. Could go down 2 falls to nothing.
Well, that would be incredibly embarrassing for the current champion. I'm not sure what's going on. I mean, 5-star once again inviting Doug Williams into the ring, but Doug does not trust him as far as he can throw him.
No, I think what happened there, Nick, was, I mean, Belton had Williams up, but I don't think he intentionally went for that crotching manoeuvre. As we saw Belton going in there, saying, you know, trying to apologise, but Williams using that to his advantage straight away, goes with a few forearms and the stiff
Shine a light!
Flying now. Mark Belton was only trying to apologise, but he's not going to take any of Doug Williams' guff.
Well, no, Doug Williams was playing a bit of possum as he got back into the ring, and 5-star just chopping away, but he missed that elbow there, and Doug will capitalise on that mistake. He is working on that arm like anything.
Doug Williams is angry and fired up, Nick. So far, Mark Belton has outsmarted him in this match. He's 1 fall up already, and he's still got a lot of fight to give. Williams, the only place Williams can go from here, Nick, is, well, he needs to get the next pinfall victory with any hope of retaining his FWA title. Look, he looks angry. He looks upset. He's been outwitted by the youngster. He won't take it anymore.
Well, no, it really is do or die for the FWA heavyweight champion. Well, it's obvious now, he is working on that arm. He wants the submission from 5-star Mark Belton. He's even working on the fingertips there, it looks like.
You know what, Nick, I can't blame Doug Williams though. I mean, Doug Williams, of course, angry, wants to keep his belt. But if someone crotched you on the top rope, inadvertently or not, would you be a bit angry?
Well, I wouldn't be best pleased, no. I mean, let's boil this down though. Let's simmer it for the people at home. Doug Williams came into this match underestimating his opponent, and in that process, 5-star Mark Belton got a very quick pinfall over the champion. Doug Williams now knows that he cannot underestimate Mark Belton. So if you ask me, it's now Mark Belton who could be in trouble, especially if Doug's going to keep working on his arm like this.
Definitely an angry Doug Williams is not someone you want to be in the ring with, and he has got a nice vice-like grip, and he goes in now with a cross arm breaker. He's worked over that one arm for so long now, Nick. Maybe this is the point. This is the submission point for Mark Belton. Doug Williams is just going to keep working away until Belton cannot take it anymore.
Obviously, 5-star Mark Belton, phenomenal, good conditioning. But you've got to ask yourself, how far can his pain limit go? What is his pain tolerance? Can Doug Williams make him submit by working on the arm here? It's obvious that that's Doug's strategy. He's going to keep working his arm, even to the point of the illegal use of the ropes there, Tony.
I mean, he does have the 5 count to break the hold, and utilising the ropes will be very, very effective for Williams. Williams has Belton backed up into the corner at the moment. Again going with the wrist, and look, the way he just powered him up there and dropped him straight down on that arm. It looks as though Williams is going to go for a first full submission victory for himself, Nick. But what about the Chaos Theory, the Revolution DDT, the Bomb Scare Knee Drop? Williams has so many moves that he can take out Belton. For me personally, it's about time he started using his arsenal and put Belton away.
Well, for the last 5 minutes, I've just been watching this contest. For the last 5 minutes, 5-star Mark Belton desperate to get the circulation to run back into his arms. But Doug is not allowing him an opportunity. I've not seen Doug Williams this sadistic before in my life.
Belton there managed to escape though as he goes in with a roll through and only a 2 count. Tried to go with a quick crafty roll through, the same as he got his first fall.
Right, it's that quick crafty roll through that's going to cost him, it's going to get him the title here tonight. Hurricanrana though, beautifully.
Onto the second roll, take Williams out. See, you know, it's been a submission match so far, but you hit a high flying move and it totally changes the pace. Belton is now firing up, firing back, anxious to get that all-important second fall.
Well, I think it's obvious that Mark Belton has realised he cannot go technical with Doug Williams, because otherwise Doug Williams is just going to break his arm eventually.
Doug Williams goes with a fake but 5-star flash, also knew it was coming. Oh, Nick shoulder breaker taking down the injured arm.
Oh, he's going for it, Tony. He's going for it. Bomb scan knee drop, and he connects on the arm.
And now Williams goes in. He's got it. This has to be it.
Has to be it.
Belton has to do it. He is now.
Well, Mark, hold on. Mark's tapped out. Belton has tapped out.
Belton is tapped out. It is now 1 fall apiece. 1 for Belton, 1 for Williams.
Absolutely. Doug Williams' tactic paid off in the end. He's been working on the arm consistently, and then he dropped the bomb scare knee drop onto the arm, applied that bridging submission, and it's now 1 fall apiece.
It's now 1 fall apiece, Nick, as we see Williams and Belton circling the ring. Belton is clutching that arm. Doug Williams has done the damage he needs to. And look at Williams being the fighting champion. He knows what he has to do to retain his title. Go straight back to the move.
I just want to quickly summarise. We've had the first fall. Mark Belton got a very quick, crafty fall. Doug Williams, however, after that, went on to the arm, as he's doing right now, and he managed to get the submission over Mark Belton. So Mark Belton is entering the third and final deciding fall with an injured left arm, which is going to be vulnerable against this personified torch device that is Doug Williams.
Doug Williams with a nice high knee in the corner there and a quick snap suplex on Mark Belton. Belton is clutching that arm. It must be causing him an immense amount of pain. You know, Doug Williams, well known for his submission style wrestling, and it looks as though he's going up to the top rope again. No, Belton up on his feet and takes a quick forearm there an open hand slap to the face of Williams. Belton knows that he has to act quickly, Nick, because if he leaves it too long, Williams will just keep working and working and finally, snap the arm.
Well, it's obvious that Doug Williams was desperate to hit another bomb scare knee drop and perhaps take the fall, but 5-star now, it looks like he's on the corner after managing to backdrop Williams down to the mat, and he could be going for the 5-star leg drop. Just occurred to me.
If he hits it, 5-star leg drop, he goes for it but misses. Williams rolled out of the way at the very last second.
Mark Belton was desperate to try and land on his feet. You saw Doug trying to move out halfway through the move. However, Doug Williams was just, too quick. Mark Belton couldn't recover in time, and he came crashing awkwardly down, and I think he might have re-injured the arm, Tony.
It's quite possible. I mean, you see the way he's clutching, he's holding onto that arm, trying to get the circulation back, trying to get
it's a matter of time, Tony.
Doug Williams is like a shark that smells blood in the water. When he sees an injured body part, that's what he goes for. And Nick, I can see this ending up Williams getting another tap-out victory.
Well, the forearms are firing here. It's a good thing that it's not Mark Belton's right arm that's injured, because that is the arm he used for those strikes. Doug Williams off the ropes. He tried to speed it up, but 5-star, desperate here, Tony, because Doug Williams wants to kill him and retain his title.
Nick, they're both on the outside of the ring apron. There is very little room here. There is no give whatsoever. This is a bad place to be. Mark Belton with a nice leaping kick there to the back of the head of Doug Williams, but Doug Williams is trying to pull Mark Belton off. Belton
seen this before. It looks like it's died.
Oh, Nick, he hits it. He hits it perfectly, wiping them both out. I'm not sure if it was a wise move on Belton's part, but it has taken Williams down, subsequently taking him out too.
I don't think I'd ever say this, but Doug Williams has made a very key mistake. He's been working on the left arm of 5-star Mark Belton, while it's the right arm that Mark Belton uses to strike with. He was able to use those strikes just to daze Williams enough so he can do that vault over the top rope. And now, 5-star Mark Belton is back in the chase for the FWA Heavyweight title. Spinning heel kick, and he connects it.
Doug Williams, quick to get back to his feet when he was thrown in the ring, went off the ropes, but only 8 spinning heel kick for his troubles. Mark Belton, as you said, Nick, is still in control. Williams sends him over the top rope, though. He uses the turnbuckle there, goes in with a headbutt, and drop kick there. Belton, the top rope drop kick. See, you know, the submission might not be working out. The submission style might not be working for Belton, but he's still got his top rope offense, his high-flying manoeuvres. He's still got those to come.
Well, absolutely. You've got to believe he's going to be looking for the... I mean, he missed it first time. You've got to believe he still wants to use that 5-star leg drop to... Revolution! Oh, no, it was blocked. What was the Revolution DDT? If Doug Williams had nailed that, it would have been over. He then teased the Chaos Theory, but 5-star got out of that as well. And Doug greets him with a foot.
Mark Belton there, in with the waistlock. Doug Williams managed to reverse it. He backs him into the corner.
Here we go!
Here we go!
Here we
Chaos
go!
Theory! Yeah! 1, 2, 3! It's all over. Doug Williams retains the FWA British Heavyweight title.
When Doug Williams hit the Chaos Theory rolling German suplex, there was no doubt in my mind that Doug Williams had retained the heavyweight title. But what a strong showing from 5-star Mark Belton. Because whether you like it or not back home, that man right there managed to get a pinfall over our heavyweight champion.
That's true, Nick. Mark Belton put in a fantastic display. Hopefully we will see Belton and Williams meet again someday.
Crunch 2004 saw Williams take on his most high-profile challenger to date in the shape of former WWE European and Intercontinental Champion D'Lo Brown.
Are you down? No, Brooksburg. I want everybody in all of Europe to hear it. I said, are you down? You think I give a damn if you're down or not? I give a damn if you're down or not. See, the only reason I came to this godforsaken hellhole you call a country was to come here to the FWA.
Shut up, player!
Was to come and take the FWA British Heavyweight title, take it back home to Chicago, Illinois, and rename it the U.S. Heavyweight Championship. Sitting out here, you shut your damn mouth, you sit down, and you pay respect, cause I'm a damn legend. Now the last thing I'm gonna say, I better not hear from anyone out here that D'Lo sucks, cause I damn sure don't suck.
FWA Heavyweight Champion making his way down to ringside now, Nick. It's Doug the Anarchist Williams taking on, well, some would call him an icon in wrestling, a former European champion, former Intercontinental champion. In fact, the first man to ever hold both belts at the same time. I am, of course, talking about D'Lo Brown, a man that is still making waves on the wrestling scene all over the world. And here he is tonight challenging Doug Williams for his British Heavyweight title.
Now let's look at both competitors. The last time we saw Doug the Anarchist Williams, he had a phenomenal title defense against 5-star Mark Belton. He managed to wiggle out of that one 2-1. Meanwhile, D'Lo Brown went non-title against the European XPW champion Johnny Storm, and he got the victory courtesy of the sky-high powerbomb. But that's not the only weapon that D'Lo Brown's got in his arsenal. Oh no, he's got that top rope frog splash that he likes to call the lowdown.
D'Lo Brown used the fan support to get him his match with Johnny Storm. Johnny Storm decided that, well, he wasn't going to defend his XPW European title against D'Lo Brown on the behest of Rob Black. So Doug Williams, being the fighting champion that he is, said, you know what, D'Lo, I'll give title shot, all you've got to do is ask for it. D'Lo asked and Doug gave it to him. But now that D'Lo has his title shot, Nick, what does he do? D'Lo turns his back on the fans.
Well, you know, D'Lo accepted this match not with the blessing of the fans. No, he did it with the company. D'Lo Brown there giving some mouthing words to Doug Williams to let him know why he's here. Why he's here to compete with Doug Williams. Now, as I was saying, D'Lo Brown has done it with the blessing of the FWA as a company, because let's look at it. It's win-win, baby. If Doug the Anarchist Williams retains the heavyweight title tonight, then Doug's near year-long title reign will become even more prestigious. Meanwhile, if you get the title around D'Lo Brown, well, there you go. You've got a high-profile American to help spread the FWA branding all the way over to the United States of America. So whatever happens, it's going to be a great contest. But Tony, as a bigger fan as I am of the Anarchist, I'm looking for a D'Lo Brown win. I reckon a 2-1 victory for the man, because I am down with the Brown.
A cocky shot there from D'Lo Brown. They're just playing the side count game at the minute, Nick, and it looks as though D'Lo Brown is in charge at the moment. Doug Williams there with a nice tight waist lock on D'Lo Brown. D'Lo Brown trying to use his elbow, trying to wriggle out of it, does so. D'Lo Brown with a nice wrist lock there. Doug Williams rolls through, trying to break that hold, get one of his own, and he managed to. Doug Williams there, backwards through the legs of D'Lo Brown, still holding on to that wrist. D'Lo Brown trying to get out of the hold, forward flip, but Doug Williams goes in for the pin, and a quick 2 count there, Nick. Wow, I mean, Doug Williams, has obviously done his homework. Has D'Lo Brown?
Well, this is the thing. It's easy to do your homework on D'Lo Brown because he's been all over international and national television, let's not forget. Meanwhile, Doug the Anarchist Williams has only been shown in this country as well as on tapes that are available over in America. Therefore, therefore, D'Lo Brown might not have had as much opportunity. But I'm telling you one thing. Look at what D'Lo's doing. I do not know how wise this is, going against Doug the Anarchist Williams with a technical game. But let's be honest, the British wrestlers are known for their technique, and Doug the Anarchist Williams is probably one of, if not the best at the technical.
You see the way Doug Williams does that there, Nick. D'Lo Brown had hold of the head, was trying to bring him closer and closer, grounding him on the mat. Doug Williams squeezed out of it there and has both of D'Lo Brown's arms locked up, but D'Lo gets to the ropes and breaks the hold. You make a very is D'Lo Brown doing the wise thing by playing the pure wrestling game with some?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, Doug Williams went straight for something there. D'Lo Brown, very early in his career, had an intercostal pulled muscle at the hands of Dan the Beast Severin, and Doug Williams was going for that same manoeuvre that injured D'Lo Brown and took him out for several months all those years ago. Now, don't get me wrong, that injury was a long time ago, but at the same time, injuries linger, Tony, and every time you have an injury, you will have a weakness. You'll notice Doug the Anarchist Williams has got a bit of his collarbone sticking out. That's from a broken collarbone very, very early on in his career, so you've got to believe both men will be going for those respective weaknesses.
D'Lo Brown asking Doug Williams to fly off the ropes and go with a shoulder barge, and Doug Williams does. Doug Williams using a different tactic, stomping on the foot that we may not have seen before. But if it works, use it. D'Lo Brown with a nice hip toss there on Doug Williams. Doug Williams goes in with a kick, and D'Lo Brown shoots him off. Both men up to their feet. D'Lo goes with the clothesline, but Doug Williams straight in with a waist lock. Doug Williams manages to roll through D'Lo Brown. Oh, look at that! 2. No, only a 2 count there, Nick, but quick, fast action. Something we haven't seen from Doug Williams very often. Doug doesn't usually play the quick game, but he will do whatever it takes to retain his.
You know what you think, as Doug Williams is a former multiple-time judo world champion, you wouldn't think he's that agile, but good God, can that man get that agility when he needs it? I mean, we saw it a few moments ago, he just literally flipped all the way over the vertical D'Lo Brown and was able to roll him up. Desperate to get that quick 1, 2, 3, so we can get the first point for this 2 out of 3 falls contest.
That's right, Nick. It's a 2 out of 3 falls contest. Basically to go in with the advantage. Whoever gets the first fall, the all-important first fall victory, has got to go into the remaining 2 falls thinking, well, I've got 1 victory, 1 more won't be so hard to get.
Well, absolutely, we talk about it all the time, every time we see these 2 out of 3 falls contests. It's something that me and you agree on, which is a damn rarity, I'll tell you. But what it is that whoever gets that first fall, well, the other man, he's just playing catch-up throughout the entire contest. So obviously you want that quick fall, because then you've got the advantage. There's no pressure on you, but the other guy will be sweating bullets.
Doug Williams with a nice snapmare there, and he's holding on as a rear naked choke there on D'Lo Brown, and he was holding his knee in the small of D'Lo's back, putting that extra bit of pressure. A nice knee drop there, goes in for the quick pin, but D'Lo kicks out one. You know, it's the extra pressure points that Doug Williams likes to work on. He goes in with the rear naked choke, but he adds the knee as well, just adds that little bit of extra flavour.
Well, why are we calling the torture device over in America?
That's true, Nick. Doug Williams there with a body slam. He seems to be clutching his back for some reason. Maybe D'Lo's already, you see it there, Nick, Doug Williams clutching his back. Maybe D'Lo's already found a weakness in Doug Williams.
Well, it might have been just an injury that's accumulated over several matches that he's had. I mean, defending your title consistently in 2 out of 3 fall contests, that's going to have some wear and tear on you. And the lower back's one of the first things to go. Maybe it was something that D'Lo did in the contest. I'm not quite sure. I might have missed it. But D'Lo now slapping the taste out of Doug Williams. And this from D'Lo. He does not want to a technical contest with Doug Williams. He's a cocky guy, and it's this arrogance, this confidence that drives him through his contest.
Doug Williams now fighting back, proving that he will play the game if D'Lo wants to play. And D'Lo Brown, basically Doug Williams picked him up, tried to go in with a manoeuvre, but you see Doug Williams clutching his back. D'Lo was able to capitalise on that by using his weight, driving Williams down to the mat. Williams is holding that back, you know, and when a wrestler sees that is a targeted area, it's like a red rag to a bull, Nick. D'Lo Brown is doing nothing now but targeting the lower back area of Doug Williams, stomping on the back, knees to the back, stomping away. You know, basically by Williams showing that he's hurt, he's giving D'Lo Brown the advantage.
I'd like to paint a bullseye on his lower back.
I just can't see a way out now for Doug Williams.
Well, this is the thing. I think D'Lo clicked, because when Doug Williams went to pick him up, Doug's lower back must have been in agony, because Doug just fell completely backwards. Could not hold the weight of D'Lo Brown, and when you can't hold the weight, that's the first thing you think of, lower back. D'Lo saw that Doug was holding his lower back, and as you're right, red rag to a bull. You know what, I couldn't put it better myself, and he's just been stomping away. The technical game, I'm just going to kick his disc out of him.
D'Lo Brown there with a couple of stiff shots, but Doug Williams will have none of that. Fires back with a nice couple of European forearms there. D'Lo Brown sends him back in the ring because he wants to inflict more punishment on the back of Doug Williams. Goes in with a quick pinfall, a kick out at 2 for Doug Williams, and a confident kick out, Nick. He's not ready to give it up just yet.
Watching D'Lo now is more like watching a street fighter, very reminiscent of when he first came into wrestling with his Nation days. And there he is, it looks like he's picked another target. He looks like he was going for that shoulder. And D'Lo just throwing Doug pillar to post. He's not into. Oh, sky high! He hit it! And that's it!
He's hit it! The first fall goes to D'Lo Brown via the sky high power. I honestly, Nick, didn't think it would come so quickly in this match.
Could it be that Doug's incredibly tough, competitive timetable has resulted in this lower back injury that we noted earlier on in the contest? And as a result, D'Lo Brown was able to capitalise. D'Lo Brown was able to take the offense. He was able to take the early advantage. Hit sky high. 1, 2, 3. D'Lo Brown is not letting off either.
You see that D'Lo Brown is continuing stomping away on the lower back of Doug Williams. You know, maybe a good idea for D'Lo Brown to go for a quick pin, Nick. Get another offensive move and just, more body slams, more knees to the back. As he goes there with a blatant chokehold, though, the referee, open your eyes. Look at what is going on. D'Lo Brown is choking Doug Williams right now. Referee Steve Linsky. Who governs these referees, Nick? Someone should really get
Steve
on the case of
Steve Linsky governs the refereeing body here in the FWA. What Linsky says is law. Now, let's be honest, Linsky's a controversial chap, but he does do his job well. He knows how to count to 3, Tony.
Well, fair enough, Nick, fair enough. If he governs the referees, who am I to say anything different? Only that he's blatantly not giving Doug Williams the breaks when D'Lo Brown should have them. D'Lo Brown is cheating in this match, and the referee seems to be completely...
He is the law in that ring, like I am the law in this commentary booth, Tony. all right? You've just got to realise where the authority lies these days. And as the authority, I'm telling you this, D'Lo Brown could very well take this 2-1.
Nick got it like that. D'Lo Brown like he was going for a sky-high powerbomb, and Doug Williams reversed it in mid-air and turns it into a crossface. Now you know D'Lo Brown is going to be begging to get to those ropes to break the hold. He does so, and Doug Williams, being the fighting champion, actually releases the hold, relinquishes the move by something I don't think D'Lo Brown was due, and D'Lo Brown gets back again straight away. The offense targeting lower back of Doug Williams.
An impressive reversal. The sky high slipped out and got that crossface. My goodness, it's just a good thing that D'Lo Brown was able to reach the ropes.
D'Lo Brown sends Doug Williams outside the ring. The only thing I can think he's going to do outside the ring, Nick, is inflict more punishment. He's got the guardrails out there, and it's almost as though D'Lo heard me as he chokes Doug Williams over the guardrail.
You know, it's a good thing that Linsky is refereeing. Sorry to go back to this, but you know what? Linsky's a lot lenient. He's a lot more lenient as a referee, and he's allowing us to have this match. D'Lo's taking advantage. D'Lo really is bringing a fight as opposed to a wrestling contest here tonight at the Broxbourne Civic Hall. And as a result, we're not going to get no cheap disqualifications. We're going to find out truly who's worthy of holding the FWA gold.
D'Lo Brown with a nice helo there into the ring, showing his athletic ability. But D'Lo Brown, instead of, showing off to the fans, it might be an idea if he actually tries to pin Doug Williams. And if he does, he's already 1-fall up, Nick. We're looking at a new champion right here.
2-0. He'll be the first man to win an FWA title match. 2-0. And we've seen many great title matches.
But Doug Williams is not ready to finish yet. You see him slapping forearm on D'Lo Brown. A stiff one as well. One of the stiffest I've ever seen come from Doug Williams. As Brown is now down on the mat. Williams is begging him to get up while still clutching that back. It's obviously giving him a lot of pain, aggravating him quite a lot. Williams now picks D'Lo Brown up, sends him off into the ropes.
Well, it's a good thing that the match has been going for a while. D'Lo caught him, picks him up. We've seen this before. It was just a swing around, sit out, you're a Nazi, tight cover.
No! Oh, excellent. Doug Williams at the last second managed to kick out. A fantastic move from D'Lo Brown. Could have ended the match, any other time, but Doug Williams knows that 1 fall down, he has got to do everything he can, summon all his strength in that ring to keep his belt around his waist. Doug Williams sent into the corner turnbuckle. D'Lo Brown goes with the shoulder block, but Williams moves out of the way. Williams with a nice drop toe hold. He takes the arm of D'Lo Brown there. He's got it.
He's got a hammerlock here. And he bridges. He bridges with the hammerlock.
And D'Lo Brown is tapping out. It is now 1 fall apiece. You see how quick the tide can turn, Nick.
We've seen it so many times. You'd think the American has got the advantage, but Doug Williams from out of nowhere will turn the tide back in his favour. You've got to believe it's because in the late moments of this contest, the adrenaline is flowing, and when it's flowing through the veins of the yardstick of British wrestling, he feels no pain and
Williams now
no fear.
is firing back, goes straight away. He was going for that hammerlock once again, but D'Lo Brown wisely got to the ropes as quickly as humanly possible. He didn't want him to feel that pain again. Williams with a kick to the abdomen area of Doug Williams, and another one. It's not looking good for Doug Williams, I can say this at the moment, Nick. D'Lo is still wailing away on the back area. D'Lo has a plan, and he's using the ring ropes to his advantage as well. The referee is giving him the 5 count, and D'Lo is breaking the hold, but going straight back to, Nick, look at that. D'Lo using all his weight on the shoulders of Doug Williams and posing to the crowd. The arrogance of D'Lo Brown. I hope this man doesn't win our British heavyweight title.
Like a chef preparing his masterpiece, he is peppering Doug the Anarchist Williams with punches, kicks and dirty tactics, and it could lead him to the title, but Doug is fighting back with his heart and very soul, Tony.
Williams is not ready to give up yet, Nick. It looks as though he's down and out, but he fires back. You get the forearms, you get the punches, he'll do whatever it takes. Brown sends him off the ropes now. Doug Williams with a knee to the abdomen, sent crashing down again. D'Lo Brown with a nice basement clothesline there, folds Doug up. 2. Doug Williams kicks out. Very slow kick out there from Doug Williams, Nick. I honestly thought he wasn't going to get the arm up in time.
D'Lo could have had it there if he just revised his pinfall strategy a little better. He might have had both legs hooked up, but I reckon if he had just the one hook better, he might have gotten it. He's going off the ropes. He rolls back off. Doug is looking.
Oh my word, Nick, from nowhere! The Shining Wizard. 1, 2, 3. No! Doug Williams at the last second, gets the arm up. The Shining Wizard, the knee square in the face. I've seen it put many a man down.
Hey, we're not aiming to that manoeuvre. We saw CM Punk wipe out Raven with that move.
That's true, Nick. I've seen D'Lo Brown put people away in All Japan, in TNA with that very move. But Doug Williams knows it's all to play for. It's all on the line. He needs to be kicking out as often and as quickly as he possibly can. D'Lo has Doug backed up into the corner. D'Lo sends him off into the other corner, but Doug Williams puts on the break.
Revolution DDT. Oh wait, D'Lo caught him, but I thought we were going to see Doug Williams' Revolution DDT. That is the maneuver that won him the FWA Heavyweight title for the first time, but he caught him this time.
Second road, Nick. Doug Williams jumps off 1, 2, 3. No! D'Lo Brown, a second rope Revolution DDT, but D'Lo Brown, wow, still manages to kick out.
I gotta tell you, this D'Lo Brown, tough as nail and brown leather boot. Doug Williams off the ropes with speed and a big knee, goes for the cover. Could this be it?
No.
D'Lo slipped out.
You saw though, very limply, D'Lo Brown is starting to now feel the effects. The longer this match goes on, I feel it's going more in Doug's favour. Doug Williams is an endurance man. He's the Iron Man of British wrestling, and Doug Williams goes in with a nice high knee there, springs off the ropes, another high knee, but D'Lo Brown manages to basically stop the hold. D'Lo Brown setting Doug Williams up. Powerbomb, hits it square in the middle of the ring, and he's now tying up.
He's going for that Coiberly.
He's getting it,
This
Nick.
is the third fall, Tony. This is the proverbial penalty shot for the final score. What's it going to be? Is Doug going to hold
Williams
his
needs
arm?
to get to the
Is he
ropes.
going to do
Williams
a Beckham?
No, D'Lo Brown pulls him back into the centre of the ring. Doug Williams is going to need to get to those ropes as quickly as possible. You see the way the back is being arched, the way it shouldn't be. Doug Williams now so close to the ropes, so close. Yes! Doug Williams gets to the ropes. Now D'Lo has to break the hold.
Doug Williams in the proverbial penalty spot that I was talking about managed to get the ball in the back of the net. He reached the ropes. The contest is still on. We're still at a dead heat. It's 1-1 apiece. Who's going to get the final fall, Tony? I honestly believe it's D'Lo. I think Doug's too hurt. He's too tired, and D'Lo's just been too dominant.
D'Lo Brown has tried the power game, Nick. D'Lo Brown has tried the submission game, and nothing seems to be working. He is doing everything he can to put Doug Williams away. D'Lo Brown perches him up on the top rope now. D'Lo Brown's got something in mind, Nick, and it's not going to be good for the anarchist Doug Williams, as Brown is now ascending to the top rope. If he hits a top rope superplex, Nick, Doug Williams' back, he's going to be out of it.
It's going to explode
This
on
is
him.
going to be it, Nick. I can see it coming, but Williams is fighting back. Williams sends D'Lo Brown down to the mat, top rope.
Bomb scared me.
And he hits it square. 1, 2, 3. Yes! Doug Williams with the bomb scare knee drop from the top retains the FWA British Heavyweight Champion.
If this was a rugby game, that was the conversion that won the title. Doug the Anarchist Williams with my favourite manoeuvre, the bomb scare knee drop. 1, 2, 3. I really wanted D'Lo to win it, but quite frankly, I am thrilled. What a contest. Both men, hell of an effort.
Williams was set to defend his belt against the rookie sensation Aviv Maayan. However, due to the backstage manoeuvrings of managing director Alex Shane, the match was changed to a non-title, one-fall bout.
Ladies and gentlemen, here comes the Welsh wonder, Aviv Maayan. Now, we were originally scheduled for 5-star Belton challenging Doug the Anarchist Williams for the FWA Heavyweight title, but it was in a contest where Belton won the #1 contendership against Aviv Maayan that Belton refused to let go of the winning camel clutch hold. As a result of this, Flash Barker suspended 5-star Belton, and it was Aviv Maayan who was put into the match against Doug the Anarchist Williams for the FWA Heavyweight title. However, the show stealer Alex Shane lobbied for this to be a non-title match, and the board of directors wholeheartedly agreed. Therefore, this will be a non-title, one-fall only challenge. And what an imposing vision this is that has just come through the curtain, because this is a man who not only holds the greatest prize in British wrestling in the form of the FWA Heavyweight Championship, but the man on his shoulders happens to hold the newly created Ring of Honor Pure Championship. The Ring of Honor Pure Championship is a title which follows very similar rules to the FWA Heavyweight title matches, and no doubt this was a huge advantage in Doug Williams capturing the new gold. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, 1-on-1 for the FWA Heavyweight title. Aviv Maayan admittedly has had a bad week. He recently split up with his girlfriend Dolly, but don't worry, he's cloned himself a new one and everything's okay. Now there's the start, and Aviv Maayan straight off the blocks charges in. Doug Williams caught him and goes for a slam. No, Aviv escaped, and there's a drop kick, and Doug Williams must be embarrassed that this kid from Newport, Wales has outstepped him, and my lord, Corino to the outside, and he's just wiped out Doug Williams. Aviv Maayan is a man possessed, because he knows that a victory, nonetheless non-title, a victory over the FWA Heavyweight Champion will do his career a world of good. It was a tight pinfall, but Doug Williams was able to kick out, and my lord, I gotta tell you, I was not expecting such a fire to be lit under the ass of Maayan, and he really came burning out of the blocks. Doug Williams, though, rolling to the outside. Veteran maneuver, ladies and gentlemen. He's trying to reduce the momentum, and now he's ready to get back in the ring. Offers a handshake, and it was accepted. I suppose Doug can appreciate the hunger that Maayan brings to the ring. There's the lock. Oh, Doug Williams straight away to the waist-up, taking Maayan to the ground. Maayan using those technical abilities that he's learned courtesy of the FWA Academy. Tight front headlock there, and Doug Williams with a Northern Lights suplex. I mean, this is the thing. Doug Williams, not only with the experience advantage here, not only the actually non-title, I do apologize, not only the advantage of being so experienced, but he is bigger and stronger and possibly quicker than Aviv Maayan. I don't know, that's an untested claim, but maybe we'll find out here tonight. Oh, Aviv Maayan trying, I mean, there wasn't much force behind that forearm, but he was able to get out of the wrist lock nonetheless. Doug Williams now, and imagine too smart to be in that hold for long, and look at that. Doug Williams knows exactly every reversal to the wrist lock, and there he is. He just swept down the legs, and now he's putting the pressure on the Achilles tendon of Maayan. See where he takes this, floats round, double, yeah, he's got both legs locked there, and we've seen this from Doug before. Look at that, double chicken wing, and that will no doubt put a lot of pressure on the young kid from Wales. The referee is there if there's a submission. We'll see. I mean, maybe Doug's just still warming up on Maayan. Nice European uppercut. Maayan retaliates surprisingly. Another European uppercut. And Doug, perhaps too strong? Doug doesn't even feel that forearm. And he replies with a European uppercut. But bloody hell! Maayan just off the ropes with that dropkick. And Doug Williams now knows this could be a bit of a fight. The cover, only a 1 though. Maayan really did kick out of authority there. Doug Williams waiting for Maayan to get up. You know, I've got to tell you folks, I'm glad this isn't a title match. Aviv Maayan actually said the day he wins the FWA Heavyweight title, he will celebrate by playing the gold-looking chain as he leaves the ring. And I've got to tell you, that is musical purgatory right there. Look at that triangle lock, nicely executed. And Doug Williams is going to maintain this pressure throughout the whole contest. Aviv struggling to get out, and I don't think he's going to be able to. Doug Williams' legs are like pincers. Doug's rolling through. I mean, what's he doing here? I think Aviv Maayan, though, might be able. It looks like he's found the escape, and that was fluky and jammy from Aviv Maayan. I mean, usually I don't give Aviv Maayan much credit considering his Welsh, so I'm not actually going to start giving him credit. I mean, I'm sorry, I hate the Welsh, and there's no Tony Giles to actually defend them this week. I honestly believe that Doug the Anarchist Williams is really going to make an example of Aviv Maayan, and that's what I'm talking about. too big, too strong, and the anarchist Doug Williams showing the mean streak that brought him to the FWA in the first place. That mean streak that allowed him to win the FWA heavyweight title when he was vacated in a tournament, and he won that title in a final against Solid Gold Scott Parker. And he's no way that he wants to lose non-title to a kid like Maayan, especially when you consider that recently he also won the Ring of Honor Pure Championship. But look at Doug's technical ability. Yes, Maayan, you kicked out, good boy, but Doug held onto your wrist, and there, few slaps to the face telling you where you are on the pecking order. Another pinfall, and Doug is debating this with the referee. Andy Wilden once again in the ring. We've often talked about Andy's inexperience, and would you really want to argue with the anarchist? I'm not sure. Powerbomb set up, and yes, sit out, powerbomb, excellently done, but Maayan still able to kick out. Perhaps not enough pressure upon Maayan to hold him down long enough. Doug Williams, though, once again, it's almost like he's trying to intimidate the referee here. I'm not seeing Doug Williams like this for quite a while. Maayan trying him to come in with some blows, but it's only now that he's finally got some leverage behind them. He's managed to get Doug into the corner. Doug just, though, swatted him away with his foot, and there, an unceremonious stomp off the ropes and a knee drop square to the facial features of Aviv Maayan. I wouldn't worry though, he might have better luck with the ladies after having his face crushed in. Doug Williams here, innovative submission hold, almost like a reverse chin lock whilst he's... Oh, look at that! What would you call that? I mean, I wish Tony was here, he'd probably know. It's almost like an inverse chin lock, double chicken wing submission hold. My goodness! I mean, Aviv Maayan, he's managed to clip onto the rope there, and Doug Williams, no choice but to let him go. No doubt Maayan here tonight, he is the underdog. Let's not beat around the bush, let's not be cute, everyone at home. He is the underdog, and the fans, I think the fans want Aviv Maayan to win, but let's be realistic here. This is Doug the Anarchist Williams, two-time FWA heavyweight champion, the new Ring of Honor Pure champion. He also was the man to have won the undisputed British heavyweight championship when all of the companies in England got together for a one-night tournament. There is no man technically better than Doug the Anarchist Williams in the United Kingdom today. And look at that, just throws Maayan into that turnbuckle. And Maayan really does not know where he is at the moment. Williams with the whip, follows through, but Maayan managed to see through the grogginess, and he went for that full-on forearm, but Doug, just such a muscular specimen, just no effect whatsoever. Maayan did hurt himself, but he's gonna keep going for it. Try again is Aviv Maayan's motto, obviously. Now both men are down. Aviv, though, manages to get the cover. Only a one, and Doug looks to be rocked at the moment. Aviv Maayan, surprisingly to his feet first, but Doug greeted him with his knees off the ropes. Back body drop attempt, it was turning to the sunset flip. Don't forget, Aviv Maayan's very good at getting these fluky pinfalls. He's got them, I don't like admitting it, but he has had those pinfalls fluky over the show stealer Alex Shane. And I'll tell you one thing, there is a reasonable possibility that if Aviv Maayan is going to win this match, it's going to be via a fluky pinfall. But if Doug Williams can keep hitting hard-hitting maneuvers like that, Aviv Maayan's not going to get many opportunities, and therefore the law of averages will not be on the side of the Welshman. Doug Williams there, looking flustered. The fans are getting behind this contest. Doug setting up for a suplex, and just, oh look at that, just absolutely drapes him on the top rope. Wants the referee away, and look at that. That was just brutal from the Anarchist. Reverse chin lock there. You know, I've not seen Doug Williams like this in a long time. Maybe he believes that Aviv Maayan is not in his league. Remember folks, this is non-title. It's only one fall. If Aviv's going to beat Doug, he's only got to get one fall. Usually to beat Doug Williams, you've got to get two in an FWA title match. And there he sits him down, a modified version of the crossface, but Aviv Maayan wisely turning his face to effectively remove the cross from the face, but all the same, the pressure that is putting on your shoulder as well as on the spinal cord. Aviv Maayan, I don't know how he pulled that one off, but he was able to roll through and pin Doug the Anarchist Williams. But again, it was only a 1, possibly a 2 at best. Doug Williams setting up with some knees. Oh, and a big high knee lift from the big man from Kent. And he's climbing to the heavens. Ladies and gentlemen, I love this move if it's what I think it is. Possibly, yes, the bomb scare knee drop, but no. Maayan, obviously not that groggy, runs in with a step-up kick to the back of Doug Williams' head, and both men are down. Doug, no doubt, his knee will be throbbing. He went to hit that knee square in the sternum of Maayan, but Maayan moved out of the way. Maayan off the ropes. He's going to take a chance by speeding up the contest. Follows through, and look at that, a tilt-a-whirl reverse DDT. Nicely planted, but no, Doug Williams with the kick out at 2. And Doug, he desperately wants to get to his feet. You don't want to be on the ground when Aviv Maayan is having a hot moment, and another forearm. And I honestly think Maayan was having problems with that right arm, but still, he hits that spinning DDT off the corner, and both men are down. Aviv struggling to capitalize. He gets the cover, but no, only a 2. Doug Williams knew where he was and realized he had to get that shoulder up. Now, Aviv Maayan, I mean, it was only half-heartedly, but yes, that was a cutthroat gesture. Let's see where he goes with this. Dragon Rana, he's been using that as of late. It's tight, but no. Doug Williams kicks out with true authority that is deserving of a double champion, folks. But could you honestly see it? Aviv Maayan pinning a man not only holding the most prestigious title in this country, but possibly one of the up-and-coming prestigious titles in America. Aviv nearly got the fluky win there. Doug again has to stay on top of his game to avoid those pinfalls. Picks up Maayan, peppering him with forearms, a few slaps. Disgraceful maybe, possibly effective. When he caught him there. Oh, Chaos Theory! Chaos Theory! And yes, that was the exclamation mark. And Doug, the Anarchist Williams, it was non-title, but yes, ladies and gentlemen, your FWA Heavyweight Champion is the victor. Now the question is, with Mark Belton, the original #1 contender, out of action, and with Aviv Maayan now safely dispatched, who's going to be challenging Doug the Anarchist Williams next for his FWA Heavyweight Championship? I'll tell you one thing, there's only one way to find out, and that's to join us in the upcoming weeks on FWA television. Look at this though, folks. Doug Williams raising the arm of Maayan. I mean, obviously, Doug recognises a solid competitor. Maybe I give him some bad credit because he's Welsh, and maybe it's deserved. But Aviv Maayan, it was a solid effort. And you know what? One of these days, he could get that lucky pinfall. Ladies and gentlemen, I've had a fantastic week. There's been no Tony Giles. I've had more leg room than you can imagine. But next week, Tony Giles is going to be back. And don't forget, he'll probably have a message from AJ Styles for James Ty. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nick London. Thank you and good night.
Steve is going for seconds.
jaw and ego bruised from this confrontation, Alex Shane sent a hired gun, a mystery wrestler from overseas, to take care of the Anarchist.
The mystery opponent is Joe E. Legend.
Wow, well there you go, former WWE competitor and also former NWA Tag Team Champion, Joey Legend.
Joey Legend here in the FWA for the first time, Nick, and he's here and he's wrestling Doug Williams for the FWA Heavyweight title.
Hey, when you're being hired by Alex Shane, an FWA title match straight off the bat is nowhere near impossible. Joey Legend has really been jumped into a very good position here. In one match, he could solidify himself with the top title in the United Kingdom.
I mean, we all know why this has come about, don't we, Nick? It's because of the petty jealousies of
Doug Williams.
The FWA Managing Director, Alex Shane, was basically, he felt backed into a corner in between booking the match Doug Williams versus Steve Corino. And ever since that, Alex Shane has had a chip on his shoulder about the FWA champion, Doug Williams, feeling that he outranked him to basically get what he wanted.
Look, all I know is that Alex Shane is the businessman who makes this company work, alright? Doug Williams is merely just he's a wrestling grunt. He is merely there to hold a title and to give the title credibility, I suppose. And don't get me wrong, Doug Williams has done a fantastic job in doing this, but it's Alex Shane's job to make those big decisions about who's going to get a title shot. It was not on the card for Steve Corino to get an FWA heavyweight title match, but Doug Williams decided that he was going to get one, and that's just wrong.
Doug Williams there, Joe Legend rather, with the wrist lock on Doug Williams. Doug Williams trying to go for the hair but breaking the hold straight away because it is illegal, and Doug does uphold the rules of the FWA. Doug Williams, nicely done there, manages to reverse out of the wrist lock, goes straight in with the headlock on Joe Legend. Nick, the way I see it is Alex Shane is a fantastic wrestler, but he's just jealous of Doug Williams, and also he felt insulted that on one of his many beatdowns as Aviv Maayan, Doug Williams actually gave him a little bit of a clock to the face, gave him a little
bit of a clock to the face. A little. Have you seen the size of Doug Williams' arms? I don't want to feel a hell of a blow from that guy, neither a little blow or anything. He'll knock you unconscious.
Doug Williams came to the aid of Aviv Maayan because Alex Shane was doing what Alex Shane does, and that's bullying people.
Yeah, but as you said, Aviv Maayan's defeated Alex Shane before, so why he actually needed Doug Williams' help is beyond me. Doug Williams, look at him. He's been, he's almost been out-wrestled at the moment by Joey Legend. I reckon we could be looking at a new FWA Heavyweight Champion.
Anything's possible here in the FWA, Nick, as Joe Legend keeps that wrist lock on Doug Williams. Doug Williams, though, well known for his technical prowess and is going to try and get out of that. Nice roll through, and again a reversal. Takes the arm and also using his arm to drive away the face of Joe Legend, adding in that extra little bit of twerk.
Let's just remind everyone at home, Tony, this is 2 out of 3 falls. The FWA Heavyweight title is always defended under this stipulation. Essentially, you've got to beat Doug Williams twice to take the title. That's the deal. Not many men can do it, and in fact, no man has done it. Doug Williams is difficult to beat once, let alone twice.
We've seen many come, and we have seen many go, Nick. Joe Legend there using the fingers in the nostrils of Doug Williams, but the referee giving him a 5 count, telling him to break the hold. Joe Legend just wearing away on Doug Williams at the moment, maybe proving to be a little bit more technical than I initially expected Joey Legend to be, but Doug Williams is having none of it and fighting back. A nice forearm there, sends Legend off the ropes, nice back elbow, takes Legend down.
Well, when you go against Doug Williams, you've got to bring some sort of technical game. Doug Williams went for a knee drop there, Joey Legend blocked it, and he just missed the second one too.
Joe Legend obviously has scouted for this match. He must have known sometime in advance that Alex Shane was going to hire him, was going to bring him in to face the FWA champion, and Joey Legend has obviously done his homework.
You know what? Alex Shane probably sent Joey Legend, the best of Doug Williams, volumes 1 through 24, because obviously Doug's had that many good matches, and if Joey Legend has done his homework, he'll know every trick that the Anarchist could potentially pull out.
Joe Legend has Williams backed up in the corner, using those dubious strikes it looked like there, but the referee was making sure they were open-handed. So Williams now blocking the boots of Joe Legend, just as Joe Legend was blocking Doug Williams. It appears that, you know, Doug Williams can adapt and do anything inside that ring, catching the leg of Legend and taking him down to the mat.
Now that is not calling for a champion. Champions meant to represent our company, but there he is flicking a pair of birdies at the challenger, and now there's just this petty slapping contest going on.
Each man now trading forearms back and forth, neither man getting the advantage at the moment, but I gotta go with Doug Williams on this one. Doug Williams, we've seen him so many times have to defend his FWA heavyweight title, and I have to give the advantage to Williams as he shoots off the ropes, but Legend duck, and Legend with the roaring forearm there, taking the Anarchist down.
Absolutely, I mean, it was a fantastic forearm, and Williams has been rocked off his feet here in the Morecambe Dome.
Joe Legend drops a nice fist there on the head of the Anarchist, and a nice elbow as well. Seems to be maybe targeting the head area of the champion, Doug Williams.
Well, it'd be interesting to see what Joey Legend's, what he's got in store for Doug Williams. I mean, unfortunately for Doug, he's not had much time to prepare for this contest. In fact, he's had none time whatsoever. Joey Legend's had all the time in the world.
And of course, Joey Legend is no stranger to gold. As you mentioned before, Nick, he is a former NWA Tag Team Champion, and to add the FWA Heavyweight Championship to his arsenal would be just another feather in his cap.
Well, absolutely, it looked very nice on the CV. Hello, sir. I'd like to wrestle for your company. Ooh, I happen to have the FWA Heavyweight title. It'll guarantee him work all over Europe, Tony. It's worth a lot of money.
Nicely done there from Joey Legend. Managed to roll through and still keep hold of the arm of Doug Williams. Joey Legend now just wearing away. I am completely in awe of Joe Legend at the moment, Nick. I have not seen this kind of wrestling from Joey Legend for such a long time. As you see a nice crossface there, he's also got his leg bridging over the leg of Doug Williams, making it even harder for Williams to break the hold.
It's an innovative version of the crossface, but Doug looks like he's trying to find that escape. Got to wonder who's going to get the first fall in this contest.
Well, as it stands, Nick, I'm gonna go with Joey Legend. You know, he's been in control pretty much since the beginning of this match, and just seems to be wearing down on several body parts of the Anarchist Doug Williams.
The crowd trying to get behind Williams, but I'm not sure how much good this is going to do. Williams now throws Joe's head into the corner. Doug now battling back. Joey Legend looking a bit rocked here. Doug follows through. Trademark Doug Williams knee there.
Whips him off into the corner. Doug Williams sets him up now, gets the momentum back, goes in, nice knee drop, but blocked by Joe Legend. Joe Legend pushes him off, and Joe Legend driving Doug Williams' head into that top turnbuckle. Legend springs off the rope, nice left arm clothesline, takes him down, goes in for the pinfall, but only managing to get a 2 count. See, Nick, that's something that can throw you off, a wrestler that throws a left arm clothesline. It's not something you see very often in the sport of professional wrestling.
Joe Legend here showing exactly what he thinks of our fans, and I'll admit, our fans can be pretty frustrating sometimes, Tony, when Joey Legend really does not want them under his skin as he's trying to battle probably the most competent technical wrestler in the whole of Europe. Think of the back ahead now, that wasn't technical, that's for certain.
Doug Williams down on the mat with no place to go. Joe Legend firmly in the driver's seat. If I was Joe Legend, Nick, I would just pull out one of my big moves and try and go for the early pinfall victory. But it would appear that maybe Alex Shane has had a few words with Joe Legend and said, you know what, Joe, if you could just wear away on Doug Williams for a while, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
No, I think it's personally a great idea. I think Alex Shane should give Doug Williams a lesson, bringing in these mysterious opponents, wearing him down. Doug Williams wants to be a wrestler, then he can live with the consequences. Joey Legend now beginning to pick up Doug here. Doug Williams is being victim to these forearms across the bridge of the nose.
Joe Legend there springing off the square boot to the face of Doug Williams. Doug sent down, and it would appear that Joe Legend is a signal maybe for the end of the first fall. Joe Legend now ascending to the top turnbuckle.
After that kick to the jaw, I reckon Doug Williams will be... Oh, and after that, Doug Williams will be drinking his protein bars through a straw.
Joe Legend top rope leg drop, but Doug Williams still managing kick out at 2 3/8.
Doug Williams just powering, and I mean powering out of with those kick-outs attempts. Joey Legend's wondering, what have I got to do to pin this dude? Not once, but twice.
Joe Legend now springing off the ropes. Goes for that boot again, but Doug Williams managed to catch him that time. Nice!
Goodness me!
Tight. German suplex there, taking Joe Legend down. But is this a last-ditch effort, Nick? We've seen Doug Williams pull out that move, but again, go crashing back down to the the mat himself. Is it a case of too little too late?
FWA, Tony, I gotta tell you, there was such height, such power and such technique in that German suplex, and Joey Legend's really having problems getting to his feet. Doug is feeling the energy within.
But Joe Legend is also up on his feet, goes for the clothesline, but Doug Williams managed to go through the reversal. Doug Williams with the knees there, and one more nice high knee, takes Joe Legend down, goes for the pin, only gets a 2 count there, Nick.
Joey Legend stumbles into the corner. Not a good idea where the Anarchist is after your very blood. Whips him off into the corner. Doug follows through. Nice knee drop. Off the ropes again. And that's the 3rd knee drop we've seen. And that is such a charm.
He hits the high knee, Nick, and it always sets up for one of your favourite moves from the Anarchist, Doug Williams. But Joe Legend is Joe Legend is up, sorry. Doug Williams up and over, managed to go unawares of Joe Legend, and Doug Williams sent crashing into that turnbuckle, and now Joe Legend has got him down. Joe Legend has got him down in that crossface. Are we going to see Doug Williams?
Look at that! Look at the leverage!
The extra bit of torque on the arm there. Doug Williams has got to be wanting to give it up right about now.
He might want to give it up just so he doesn't get an injury, which will knock him out for the whole contest.
It might be wise of Doug Williams to tap out now, get him to break the hold, and then go through, win the next 2 falls. Doug, seriously, look at the angle.
He's fading. All the pressure is on the artery on the right-hand side of Doug's neck. That's 2 if he falls one more time. Doug will have lost this via a knockout.
Williams has lost by Doug Williams. Joe Legend has gone 1-up in this FWA title match. Doug Williams had no time to prepare, didn't know what he was in store for. Joe Legend is only 1 fall away from walking out being the new FWA champion.
Gotta tell you, Joe Legend probably knew that Doug Williams wasn't expecting that sort of modified. It wasn't quite a crossface, it was more an artery blocking maneuver, and Doug Williams just faded away. Doug had no idea that that move was coming. And when it was on, it was too late.
We have the small rest period now, but if I was Joe Legend, as soon as this match restarts, I would go back as he's doing and target that area of Doug Williams again. He goes in for the quick pinfall, but I don't think pinfall's the way to go, Joe. If you want to win this match, I would go straight back in with that submission move.
Well, I agree. Joe Legend's frustrated. He wants 2 falls very, very quickly. But I don't think he's going to get them, Tony. Doug Williams has had time, thanks to that rest period, time to get the blood back into his noggin, and now he knows where he is.
Nice karate-style kick there to the back of the head of Doug Williams. Doug Williams appears to be out on his feet at the moment, and Joe Legend is still firmly in control.
Joe Legend, beautiful suplex there, but it wasn't meant to be. Couldn't get him down for the 3, Tony.
Very nicely done there, but Doug Williams knows that he's only 1 fall away from losing what he holds dear to him.
Sorry to cut you off. I mean, I'm agreeing with Joe on this one. That could have been a 3. That could have been a 3. And I honestly think, Joe Legend could be a very good face for British wrestling, Yes, he's an American, but he could be a fantastic face as a British wrestler holding a British heavyweight title.
Sorry to correct you, Nick, but Joe Legend is actually Canadian. Regardless, Doug Williams is going to want to keep hold of the FWA British heavyweight title and keep it on these shores. But Joe Legend is pulling out all the stops at the moment. He is desperate to prove a point to Doug Williams.
Now, Tony, I admit I got a D in geography, but isn't Canada part of America?
No, Canada's a separate country, Nick.
You're kidding me? Has it got a currency and everything? Do they have their own king or president? Tony, you look horrified.
I am horrified, Nick, at your stupidity. But one thing I'm also horrified about is how easily Joe Legend is manhandling the FWA champion Doug Williams. Although saying that, Doug Williams is now firing back on the outside. It's this quick offense is what he's got to use if he plans to go or take Joe Legend down. The way it stands, Legend is only 1 fall away from winning this match. Doug Williams is climbing an uphill battle.
Look at that! Doug Williams just had his head slammed straight into that corner post. And Joey Legend from the great nation of Canada is going to take it to Doug Williams right now. I mean, good grief. I've never realised how big this guy was until he came over to England and went against our champion. Because let's be honest here, Tony, Doug Williams is not a small man.
We've got the referee on the outside of the ring because it would appear as though maybe Doug Williams has been knocked out by that.
He might get a 2-0 victory.
He's thrown into the ring post. The referee is signalling for he needs some help outside. It would appear that Joe Legend has...
Well, Joe Legend's come to help Doug Williams.
He's come to help Doug Williams. If Joe Legend was purely hired to take out Doug Williams, then that's exactly what he's doing. Legend is wisely rolling Doug Williams back into the ring. Now, if he goes in for that pinfall, if Doug Williams is out, we're looking at the new champion.
And wouldn't that be a beautiful day? Sets him onto his shoulders. I mean, no idea what he's going for here, though. Oh! Doug Williams will be knocked out. He just drove his head into his knee there. The cover, but the kick out will come off it.
I thought Williams was out for good, and yet Doug Williams is still managing to kick out. It's like I said, Nick. He has got 2 falls to win if he plans to keep what he holds most.
Whoa, Joey's gonna fly.
Title. Joe Legend goes for the moonsault, swing and a miss. Doug Williams rolling out the way at the last second.
There was no water in that pond, Tony. He hit rock bottom, and now Doug Williams might have an opportunity to capitalise. And Doug, with those forearms blazing away off the ropes, he picks him up, back body drop, and Joey Legend is feeling the pain in his lower back.
Doug Williams on the offense now and needs to keep it that way, needs to get fired up, needs to do whatever he can.
Oh, well, Doug Williams going for the Revolution DDT, but it looks like Joey Legend's got that crossface on.
The move that cost Doug Williams the first fall in this match.
Not quite, Tony. He's got to hook the arm first so he can block off the archery. At the moment, it's just a crossface. But if Doug is weakened, you've got to believe he will switch to that hold.
Doug Williams, though, Nick, you can see Doug Williams has his leg on the rope. The referee has noted it and is getting Joe Legend to break the hold. It looked like it was going to be all over for Doug Williams. A tap-out victory goes to Joe Legend, but Doug Williams... you can see the limp, lifeless body of Doug Williams still has his foot on that bottom rope. It does not bode well for the FWA Heavyweight Champion right now, Nick.
Joe Legend. He has body slammed Doug Williams down, almost measuring him up, because he wants to fly and he'll want to hit, but Doug is up! Doug is up! And he's going to slam him off the top!
Doug Williams has got Joe Legend, slams him halfway across the ring. Doug Williams now going to the outside.
I thought we were going for the bomb scare knee drop, but again, Joe Legend beats him to the top there, Tony.
Joe Legend he really has done his homework in this match, Nick. Joe Legend now perched on the middle rope, has Doug Williams, but Doug Williams does appear to be fighting back. Come on, Doug, fight back. As Joe Legend is sent crashing down, Doug Williams perched high on the top rope.
I thought we'd see the bomb scare knee drop, but he moved out of the way. Revolution DDT! He's got to be out!
2,
kick out!
3, 1 fall apiece. Doug Williams gets 1 back. Now it's all to play for in the 3rd and final fall of this match.
Damn it, I thought we were going to see 2-0 there. And you've got to believe that the King of Canada, who is currently watching this show, will not be happy that Joey Legend is going to have to... he's got to wrestle another fall off Doug Williams. It's 1 apiece. It can go either way.
We have the brief rest period, and then both men will go at the 3rd and final deciding fall of this FWA Heavyweight title match.
Both men are up. The rest period will nearly be finished, and the final fall will begin. And there is the bell. Doug is saying to bring it.
You can see Doug wants Joe Legend to bring everything he's got. Doug's taken just about enough. He is going to take no more. He is going to hammer home the points of Joe Legend. He is the FWA champion and he plans to stay that way.
Thing is, Doug Williams now knows what Joey Legend brings to the table. He'll be more prepared, and there's that double boot there, and both men went down.
Both men were mirroring each other there, move for move. The double boot takes both men down, as the referee now is sticking in that no standing 10 count. If it does go to a no standing 10 count, if neither of these men can get up in time, the title will stay with Doug Williams. But Joe Legend is quickly getting to his feet, and he's up first. Doug Williams up now. Williams gets the forearm up as Legend runs in.
Doug Williams really does not want Joe Legend to come in knee, and that was beautiful. That standing knee off the 2nd rope, but Joe Legend able to kick out. Doug Williams having major disagreements with our referee, and I'm not surprised. I mean, Doug Williams desperately wants this contest to end so he can go home and cradle his title belt like a newborn
Doug
baby.
Williams going for it. Doug Williams going for the chaos theory. Doug Williams picks him up.
Joe Legend was too big. He couldn't do it, Tony.
Joe Legend fighting back, whips Doug Williams out of the corner. Doug Williams tries to go up and over, but Joe sidesteps it. Joey Legend on the offense. Joe Legend picking up Doug Williams now.
Well, Doug Williams completely said, oh, whoa. No, hang on a second. This is illegal in the FWA if he hits a pile driver.
But Doug Williams managed to reverse it and picks him up. The power of Doug Williams. But Joe Legend now. Joe Legend manages to reverse the move. And Joe Legend has Doug Williams perched high on his shoulder. Doug Williams is in the wrong place at the wrong time right now. Oh, Nick! Sits out almost like an electric chair type move. Goes for the pin. But Doug Williams still managing to kick out.
All I know is that he dropped him backwards on the back of his head and onto his lungs. I mean, that will just drive the wind out of you. Really, very convincingly.
The crowd are trying to get behind Doug Williams. They do not want to see Joe Legend walk out the new champion. Inverted DDT there from Doug Williams. Joe Legend up at 2. Doug, whatever you have to do to ensure that title stays here, you need to be doing it right now.
No, Doug, allow the Canadian to beat you. Let him take it off you. You look tired. You look weary. You deserve a holiday, Doug. He's been defending that title night in, night out. We're seeing this move again. Oh, and a sit-out ace crusher.
Nicely done there from Joe Legend. Both men seem to be pulling out all of their moves at the moment, Nick. It's getting towards the end of the match. Both men can feel it. It's all or nothing now, as Doug Williams couldn't even kick out, had to drape his foot over the rope just to conserve some energy.
Again, Joe Legend honestly believes in his heart that that was a free count. And Doug Williams got his foot on the rope. I mean, maybe it could have been a free count, but Doug was just able to get to that rope as the ring general that he is.
Doug Williams backs into the corner now. Joe Legend going with those knees on the side of the head of Doug Williams. But Doug Williams there seems to be fighting back. Doug Williams sit out powerbomb. 2, 3, no! Joe Legend kicking out there at the last second.
What is Doug gonna do? Perhaps he's gonna hit the bomb scare knee drop this time around.
Doug Williams high above the top rope.
Oh, wait a minute, that's one of Alex Shane's security members. What was that all about?
What was that all about? Why is he interfering in this match? He has no place in this match. He doesn't need to be out there.
I heard the bell, therefore Doug Williams will retain by disqualification.
Nick, I'm literally lost for words. Why would Alex Shane's security detail come out here? And why would they attack Doug? Why would they attack Doug? Why is Alex Shane out here?
Oh God, you're so thick. I'm a smart man. Listen to me. What's happening is that Doug, the anarchist Williams, and Alex Shane are having problems. Alex Shane has sent out his men to soften up Doug Williams, and now Alex Shane is going to finish the job.
So this is how Alex Shane does business. We're supposed to respect him as a credible businessman, and this is how he conducts his business.
Hey, Doug
Look
Williams
at this.
made it
Alex
personal.
Alex Shane.
One night stand, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yes.
Alex Shane with the assisted one-night stand there takes Doug Williams up and spits in the face of Doug Williams. This is a travesty in the FWA. Why is Alex Shane doing this?
I'll tell you one thing. He's sending a message to Doug Williams. He's also sending a message to Steve Corino.
Oh my no! Nick!
Bloody hell! That was gross!
Nick! Doug Williams' face! And you can see the blood spurting from Doug Williams' foot. The blood is on the belt. Doug Williams driven headfirst into the FWA belt by Joe Legend. I've never seen anything like this, Nick. This beat.
Oh, Tony, the blood of Doug Williams has been smeared over the very centre of his being, the FWA heavyweight title. And Alex Shane is telling Doug Williams now, I am the man in power here. Not you, Doug Williams. Me, the show stealer, Alex Shane. Remember this, Tony, whether you like it or not. England, the FWA, and the known universe revolves around Alex Shane.
Alex Shane is just shown utter disrespect.
This is Doug Williams' blood. This is the British heavyweight title, and this is mine from now on.
Alex Shane's just made a pledge that he just said, the FWA heavyweight title, it's going to be mine from now on. You got to believe that managing director Alex Shane is going to find some sort of contractual loophole to take that title off him, because in his eyes, he does not deserve to be the bearer of that title.
Hotwire 2004 saw the feud between the show stealer Alex Shane and Steve Corino culminate in their first one-on-one matchup. Williams made his presence felt towards the end of the contest as he was seeking to regain possession of his precious title belt and show the show stealer that their own feud was only just beginning.
At the end, as the arm back comes up, Lariat, he's done it!
Kick out! Kick out!
No! No! Alex Shane has kicked out of the lariat!
Alex Shane's ego is so huge, he will not allow himself to be pinned by a mere American, and there's the human breeze block, Martin Stone, to help Alex Shane. Well, the referee
Richard Young tied up with them, and here comes Aviv Maayan! Aviv Maayan is here to take care of Martin Stone on the outside.
The Red Dragon has come out to cut off Stone!
We've seen Steve Corino come to the aid of Aviv Maayan before. Steve Corino will not be done, but here's the All England champion! Super kick! Takes out Steve Corino. Don't let it be so. Do not let it end this way.
The South
Here comes Flash Barker! It's the FWA Commissioner!
Unprofessional!
Go Flash! Go Flash! Take him out! Get rid of Hayde Vanson! Get rid of Vanson! And here comes Doug Williams! It's the FWA British Heavyweight Champion! He's got the belt! He's taken him down! Alex Shane with a belt shot! Corino is fired up now! Williams is out! It's about to be settled! Corino sets himself up off the ropes! Lariat!
Edge of justice, Tony!
Referee!
No,
1, 2, 3!
Oh, good!
No one knows where this burgeoning feud between Shane and Williams is headed, but one thing's for sure, with Doug Williams around, there's going to be anarchy in the FWA. I've been John Atkins, and until next time, I'll see you ringside.